What's up guys, Dope930 here, and I actually decided to kind of make a follow-up to a video I made 6 months ago. Now 6 months ago I made a few videos in regards to the Chromebooks and the Acer C7 Chromebook, specifically the one that I had purchased. But I also did a couple videos kind of taking a look at the operating system and why I chose the C7 over the Samsung, which were kind of like the two head-to-head models around that price range of $200. At that time. Now I haven't really followed how many other Chromebooks are out there on the market, but I would imagine just based off a quick little Amazon search that there's quite a few other ones. But nonetheless, I kind of decided to do a follow-up to that video because the other one was my first impressions, and I'd only used it for a couple days, I think, max at that point. Hold on. Excuse me. I'd only used it for a couple of days at that point, and now it's been 6 months. I've used it a good amount, and I feel like I can give a pretty, valid opinion and, kind of tell you guys what I think about it and who I think it is good for, definitely after this much time. So anyways, here it is right here. It's got a couple of nooks and crannies and scratches all on it, kind of, from being beat up. But it's still working great. It's still, fully functional, as it should be after only 6 months, really. Still performing equally as quick as it did before. I did make some changes though, and I made a video showing, a lot of people actually liked it, updating the hardware inside of this because I was turning it into a Chromebox, and I'm not Chromebox, I'm sorry, it was a Linux. I installed Ubuntu on it, and I ended up not having a use for that so much, so I ended up pulling out the extra hardware. I stuck back the original 2 gigs of RAM, I want to say, and my cat's trying to get out. So yeah, I ended up pulling out the RAM that I had added in, which I think was like 8 gigs, and put it back to its 2. I took out the massive SSD I had inside and put it back to the SSD it came with, which I think was like, I wanted to say like 4 gigs, not very much at all. So not all these, also again, not all these, I had a lot of comments, not all these come with SSDs. There's different models. I don't know if they even, when I looked on Amazon, I didn't even see the SSD version anymore. So I don't know if they decided to stray away from that for cost purposes, or maybe people wanted the more space on them. I couldn't really tell you. But mine was the 4 gig, I believe, solid state drive version. Anyways, so my opinions on it after having it for 6 months now is that it's great for I paid, I think $199 was what I paid for it at Walmart 6 months ago, and I've got to say that I could not be happier with it. Again, going into this, don't go into getting a Chromebook thinking you're buying a laptop, because you're not. It's a Chromebook. And so if you're used to having, I think this is kind of repetitive as my other video, but if you're used to having, a Windows laptop and you're thinking you're in store for something similar, you're really not. You're not at all. So who this is good for is going to be students. If you're in college, this is great because typically you have internet everywhere. You have, most people have Wi-Fi at their house. Typically the campuses have Wi-Fi all over them. So that's great. Again, I did say this in my other video. I believe there's Chromebooks where you can actually get data plans, so that's an option too, but I'm talking about the Wi-Fi model, which is what I have, or Wi-Fi models in general. Again, I'm not talking about all Chromebooks with this video, at least talking about the C7, but most Chromebooks will probably fall under similar categories as to the use and how I feel about them. So again, if you're a student, this thing is great. Powers on really fast. Chromebooks operating system, because it's very light, there's not much on the actual unit itself. It boots up super quick, especially, sure, that solid state drive doesn't hurt at all. You can browse the web extremely fast. You have you can't use Microsoft Word and things like that, which is kind of, some might think a downfall, but you have Google Documents, which allows you to type up documents in kind of like a Microsoft Word atmosphere, if you will. And you can actually save the documents onto, either your hard drive or email them, but you can save them in Microsoft Word format, which is like docx, I want to say. So they're definitely compatible with each other. If you wanted to, do it on the Google Documents, download it, and then edit it out on a different computer, or, in the library at your school or something like that. So for a student, this thing is great. For someone who is doing some business stuff, it's just got, like emails, similar kind of stuff, emails, web browsing, a little bit of maybe like, because you can do spreadsheets too, with Excel, things like that. This thing is great. Again, for business, so if you're doing any kind of heavy duty thing that requires certain programs now, then you're kind of shit out of luck. So when I say for business, I mean more for like the email research type of thing. So similar to the whole student aspect of it all. Now those are primarily who I think will like this, especially for the the lower price range that these fall into versus Windows laptops. Like, a Windows laptop that's $199 is typically going to be junk. I mean, I'm not going to say that all of them are, but I, from experience, have had quite a few cheaper laptops, and they just don't hang really well. And they're, they slow down, they get real slow. I mean, for 6 months, any laptop I've ever had would never be performing to the extent of this one, especially, in that price range of laptops. So yeah, that is kind of my feeling on it. Again, if you do want to get creative and you do want to be able to install some apps and things like that, you can install Ubuntu, you can install Linux on here, and dual boot between the two. I meant to make a video a long time ago, but I got caught up with some things. I think I recorded all the footage and I lost it all. So I'm definitely going to be redoing that for you guys, because I had a lot of people that were interested, as well as showing you guys a couple other things. But again, I just want to let you guys know that I do definitely stand behind Chromebooks, as long as you realize what they are. If you're deciding between a laptop and a Chromebook, again, it's definitely going to decide what your primary use is for it. If you need certain programs, then it's not really an option. Yeah, so I might actually make a separate video comparing a laptop to a Chromebook, so that way you can kind of see up front. But anyways, I figured I would do a follow-up for you guys, because again, a lot of people actually seem interested in those videos, and I figured it was only fair to kind of, after having it for some time, give my opinion, because opinions change. You have something for a little bit, and then over time you find things you don't necessarily like about it. But I gotta say that with this Chromebook, my opinion definitely stays, and I do think that this is great for someone that needs it for those specific things. So anyways, guys, let me know in the comments down below what you guys think about Chromebooks, if you've had them yourself. If you had the Acer C7, let me know what you think about it and what your primary use is for it, whether you're a student or whether you use it for quick web browsing on the go, things like that. It'd be kind of interesting to see what else other people are using their Chromebooks for. So anyways, guys, Dopes Under 930, as always, thank you for watching. If this was helpful, like and subscribe for more. Peace, guys.